True. Yeah.
Hey, everybody. We're back. We're back.
Yes, we've been away for a little while. I appreciate you all reaching out. The loss of my mom was really hard. Almost 10 months to the day from losing my dad, just 2 days short of 10 months. It was a long and, dragged out process. My poor mom, since January, she fell. She broke the bone going into her hip. Why she fell? She had 2 heart attacks, a small one and a major one. So she had to have heart surgery. She had to have hip surgery. In the hospital, she was doing well. When she got to rehab, she was not doing so well. She got infection after infection after infection, and then ended up with double pneumonia and going from one hospital to another hospital. And that's where she just couldn't deal with it, as well as having her lung cancer back and her breast cancer back. The poor woman was fighting all that, and
plus she wanted to be with Dad.
Broken heart. So now she's reunited with Dad. Yep. And I do want to say thank you to everybody that did reach out, that sent cards online, sent cards in mail. I appreciate you all very much. And okay, so now I'm going to get on with tonight's show. And it's going to be very interesting because this is something I am not privy to this.
I don't think we've actually had, hi Colette, I don't think we've actually had a guest on.
We have.
NLP.
But not one that's to the extent of Art's and span of time that he's been in it since like the 80s. So
look, come on guys, just Art's only like 21 years old, so he's only been doing it for a couple of years. Art's giggling in the background. What the hell's wrong with her eyes?
Okay, I'm going to play his bio video. Get him on here.
What a George, Chris George, Boogalicious.
This week in the Fox Den with Gina B and Mama D, we welcome Art Giser. He is a visionary powerhouse with a lifetime of diverse experiences and an impressive background spanning 40 years. Art is an expert in NLP, scientific exploration, psychic development, and the profound art of energetic and spiritual healing. Art continues to be a guiding light for countless individuals seeking to rewrite their life's narrative. Whether you encounter him in a classroom, at a workshop, or through his profound writing, Art Giser's influence leaves an indelible mark on people's soul and ignites a transformative spark that guides one to greater heights of self-discovery and empowerment. We welcome you, Art. It guides one to greater heights of self-discovery. Welcome you, Art.
Well, thank you for that beautiful introduction. I like that.
I think one of our we have a
thank you for
that
background. Beautiful introduction. I like that.
I think one of our we have a.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, no, we can hear you, but there's a one of our sites playing live. Yeah, no, we can hear you, but there's a scary.
What is going on? Let me remove you for a second. Let me add you back.
Okay, how about now? Is this better?
Let me
testing.
Remove you for a second.
I shouldn't say testing.
Add you back.
You want? I can get it. An earbud. Do you think that would help?
Probably.
Okay, give me this. You want? I can.
Hi, Chris. Hi, Colette. Yep, we were talking before. And we had no problem with the audio here, and you never know. Hey, you know what? It's not the Fox Den if it doesn't have an issue, right? Exactly. But I missed my mama. I missed being here. I missed doing this.
I kept poking her, guys. You know me. I can't just not let her be. I would be like, poke her, send her silly meme, whatever was possible. Send her some rude, disrespectful thing with a swear jar.
It was a tough time. It was a tough period. I have to admit. I mean, I was in a dark place this past week. I was in a very dark place.
I mean, it's your mom. So, I mean, no matter what, when my mother passed away, I remember, my family was like, they went through their grieving and I had to be the one who was solid. And then it took me a few months to just kind of like all of a sudden have my nuclear meltdown. So it's like, it doesn't matter how long it's been. it's your mom. That's the, that's the boss of your sauce of the thing. So
That is true. That is so true. And hi, Carla. Hi, Chris. How is that? Oh, we have to unmute you.
that usually works.
You have to unmute your mic yourself, Art. I can't unmute you.
What the heck? My mouse froze.
There we go.
Now is this better?
Yes. Much.
Oh, great.
Okay. Boy, that has not happened in a very, very long time.
Well, I should have warned you ahead of time. I'm sort of famous for having, when you do a lot of energy work.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah. The last time we had the major energy stuff, I mean, we've had some pretty powerful people on. That's when that happens, you know. Now we know you're legit. We don't have to ask you anything else. You're a legit person. You know, sign up for his courses because you see what he does to the whole internet here. So anyway, Art, now welcome to the Fox Den.
Right.
I
Well,
mean,
actually, I think I figured out what was wrong. I had the YouTube page open too,
Okay.
so it was
Oh,
it was going at the same time.
right. That's a little delay from the other one. Okay, there you go. So we will put up the comments, and after the show, you will be able to see all the comments that will continue to go on to YouTube. You know, you can set up notifications for that. Hi, Carmen. Nice to see you.
And you're going to have to do a lot of work there, Gina, because my mouse just died.
Oh, okay. Well, you need a battery.
My laptop's just sitting there, but
So Carmen says hello. Yeah, I see you've been on like a million networks, radio shows, documentaries. You have a documentary film that's going to be released next year. Is there any way you can tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I'm just going to be one of a number of people in it, and I don't have the details yet. They're still filming, so.
Is this a Netflix thing or a?
It's a private couple, but they've done documentaries before, and they end up on Netflix and stuff. But I don't know if they have a specific deal. I actually should find out what, and maybe that doesn't happen till it's done. But I think it will be done by May or something.
Do it, production.
Yeah.
Get it out there. Oh yeah. Okay, so it's that new. Okay, but now you're really famous because you're here.
Yeah, I know.
you know, you made it. Yeah. But I'm gonna start right from the beginning, right from the get-go. All right, you say that you are energetic NLP creator, master of this genre here. What is it? What do you do? When did you start this? How did you start this? All of that.
Well, I can say modestly, I'm the world's greatest authority on energetic NLP because I made it up. So, and I've been people may not know what NLP is. NLP is neuro-linguistic programming. And if people have never heard of it, they've heard of the most famous person in our field, who's Tony Robbins. Oh, yeah. And he has his own way of doing things and, dominate you into changing and high energy. But the core of his ability to transform people's lives comes from his study of NLP. And we studied with some of the same people. And I've been an NLP trainer since 1985. And more I'm getting people going, I wasn't born yet. So,
I was.
Or I was 5.
I had 2 kids by then.
And but about the same time I was studying NLP, because it was in Marin County, north of San Francisco, there were people in the program who were doing healing work and psychic development and energy work. And I'd always been interested in it. People started teaching me things and introducing me to different teachers. And I realized that you could do miraculous things with NLP. I mean, really rapid, deep changes. And like anything, it had its limitations. You could do miraculous things through spiritual principles. You could do miraculous things through transformative energy work and psychic development. But when you put them all together, I started weaving them together, and it was something that was, I thought, more profound and more effective than any of those by themselves. And that was the birth of energetic NLP back in about 1985.
Well, that's awesome. So now you offer that in like courses, or did you go speaking, or Did you write books?
Well, I have chapters in books, and I'm 90% done with my own book. It should be out by the end of the year. But I have articles, tons of videos. I do online programs, in-person programs, one-on-one work, group work. So kind of the whole gamut.
All right. So
Are
now
all your groups,
Oh.
are all your groups one-on-one in person, or is there the option as well from doing it distance?
It's almost all distance. I have like a small, passionate worldwide following, and I used to go to like London 5 times a year, 3 weeks each time to be teaching. I've taught in Brazil and France and Canada, and so people are all over the world. And one of my specialties is remote energy work, which
Okay.
anybody can learn to do. But it's one of the things I teach, one of the things I do. So it doesn't matter to me if somebody's in the same room with me. I mean, it's fun if they're in the same room, or if they're 4,000 miles away, 5,000 miles away. It doesn't make any difference.
Okay.
Well, that's fantastic.
So where are you in this big blue marble?
I'm sorry?
Where are you on this big blue marble?
Oh, right. Mostly Hollywood Hills, Los Angeles, but part-time San Francisco.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Cool. So I watched one of your videos, and you were talking about chakras and how you can see people's chakras. Now, how do you see their chakras? Is it do you see by colors? Do you?
Well, in general, the trick to seeing chakras is using your imagination. So this is one of the things that I bring from NLP into the energy work. You know, everybody thinks that they're seeing chakras exactly the way they are. I don't believe that. When I look at people's chakras and I ask to see them, more accurately what they really are, they're dynamic and multidimensional, and the conscious mind can't even track all of it. And then I'll go, okay, show me it as little vortexes there. So your mind will show it to you in whatever system you want.
Okay.
There's something called the creative rings that go above the head, and they're like. And the teacher who first taught me about it back in the 90s, usually he was super accurate in his words, but he misspoke. And he said they were concentric rings, but they're not. They're like, they're parallel. And but so I would always see them as concentric, and I'd work on them, and it would work, and people would be better. And I'd get all this information. And then one time I was talking to him, and he goes, "They're not concentric. They're like stacked." And I go, "You said they were concentric." And he went, "Whoops." So now I see them the second way, and it worked either way. So, I believe that we get shown things in a way that our conscious and unconscious mind can process.
Yeah.
Definitely. And I also think that will change in time when we change,
Yes.
So when we first start, we're going to see things in divine timing. So we're going to see this much. Then we're going to be allowed to see a little bit more. We'll be allowed to see a little bit more, and continue our path that way. Now, for healing, is it the same type of a scenario that you would do when you're working with energy? Like I've done pranic healing, which is my hand, which is the energy that way. Not she does Reiki, I do prana. They're two different things, but they can end with the same result. Same with energetic healing.
Well, I've learned a number of healing systems, and a lot of my teachers are very eclectic. They bring things together from different systems. One of the things that's different in energetic NLP is the first thing I do with people is we create something that I call your miraculous self, which is different than your high self. What I noticed in working with people years ago was that their spirit and their deep inner human wisdom were not necessarily aligned on things. And like the parts of your life that flow, typically your spirit and your deep inner human wisdom are aligned, but they're not automatically aligned.
Yeah.
And your miraculous self is formed when you set your intention and give permission for your wisdom with its vast perspective and your deep inner human wisdom with its very practical perspective to come together and form something new, which I call your miraculous self. And creating couldn't be easier. So the first thing I do with people is they create their miraculous self. then in the healing work or any of the transformative work, they set their intention consciously, then they add or better. Because I was taught years ago, always add or better, because they're
Set your standards high,
well, and so that your spirit, a lot of times we think we want this, and then there's something better shows
There's
up.
there's always a plus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, yes, and a lot of times what we think we want isn't. There's something actually better. So
What we want and what we need are always two separate things.
yes, yeah, and so they set their intention, they add or better, and then they put their miraculous self in charge of how this is going to happen. So my job is to bring in a whole symphony of energies for people. Their miraculous self decides which of those energies it wants to use and what it wants to do with them. Does it want to dissolve some karma? Does it want to change spiritual contracts? Work with ancestral programming or societal programming or unconscious programming, energetic programming of different kinds, past life programming. And then they get downloads from their miraculous self of skills and concepts and wisdom, abilities and attitudes and behaviors that will help them manifest what they want or better. So that, and at times I am reading people, and at times I give them either my advice or I deliberately do things. But my belief is, and what I teach my students, is that my miraculous self gets in communication with their miraculous self, and I get told what to do and what to say.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, because I don't believe it's for me to decide what's right. I will at times go, okay, this is my opinion, but I'll mark it out. This is my 40 years as a life coach, executive coach, NLP person. And
all of those things combined, I think,
Yeah.
You need all this different training, but I think that helps with to pull it all together. So I think you've done everything the right way to get to where you are today, and what you have to offer is the whole package, So you were just saying though about ancestral past life stuff like that. Now, a lot of people don't realize that a lot of our issues stem from way back then, and the karma that gets dragged through from your ancestors is still going to get dragged through to you, and there is a way to stop that.
It's funny. I have a program on that, and I was just writing up a new web page for it yesterday. So it's a beautiful timing. Yes, you can stop it. You can clear it. So some of it is karmic. Some of it are spiritual contracts. Some of it is energetically, the emotions or the thoughts or beliefs are programmed into you. So all of those can be worked with. And there's even a little more to it, because your ancestral energy isn't just from this lifetime's genetic ancestors. So from you have your ancestors from past lives. So there's a lot of ancestors involved, but all of it can be cleared and changed or updated. And there is a lot of karma and programming and energy that is passed down. And when we work on it, again, part of what makes energetic NLP unique is you don't consciously go, oh, I like this, I don't like that. You just turn it over to your miraculous self to update everything, so that you don't get in that hamster wheel of analyzing yourself, and so you're seeing things 12 different ways and getting confused. I used to be a medical researcher. I love logic. I love the conscious mind, but it's got its limitations. In energetic NLP, its main job is to set the intentions and give permission. But then you let your miraculous self figure out how to actually do it and to work with the energy to do it.
That is a key point there too, because people don't understand that. It's like, okay, a lot of people talk about manifesting, back in the Tony Robbins, when he first started, and everybody else that followed in his footsteps that were that dynamic, and all the manifesting. And it was like, well, just set your intention, and it's going to happen. And it's like, well, all right, well, I set my intentions and I still don't have $1 million in my account.
Right.
So what the hell's the deal with that? And then it's like, there's more steps to do, and I like how you put that, set the intention first or better. So I'll take 2 million. All right. But set the intention or better. And then allow it to happen. You have to, your brain can work against you, right?
Well, there's even more to it than that. That I call it whole being permission. So that, and I love that you're bringing this up because people go, well, you just visualize what you want. And I'll go, how many of you have visualized what you wanted and it didn't happen? How many of you have ever been super negative and everything turned out great? I mean, my first research job, I was 100% sure they weren't going to hire me. Absolutely 100% sure. To the extent where when they offered me the job, I literally went, really? Just like that.
Cool.
And the person,
Nice.
and that was the reaction I got. It was like, that's really?
Oh, I love it.
Because I think I did well in the interview because I was so sure they weren't going to hire me. I was very relaxed. But
Okay.
but to me, we call it whole being permission and an alignment and energetic NLP.
Oh, yeah.
So your spirit, your individual spirit has an agenda. Your soul has an agenda. Your conscious mind has at least one agenda. Your unconscious mind has multiple agendas. Your body has an agenda. And then you have a karmic field and spiritual contracts and more. So holding permission and alignment is when, and there's processes we do to align every aspect of yourself and then clear karma, change spiritual contracts. So
yeah, I gotta get this body has got a mind of its own. For the last, I don't know how many, 5-6 years. So I need to get this to listen to me.
well, it also has an intelligence that often gets blocked, and we get disconnected from our. Just a funny example of that. One time, this was years ago, I wanted to buy some yogurt, and I'm watching my hand go towards peach yogurt. And the time I'd never had peach yogurt, and my hand literally went to it, and I thought, okay. And then the next day, a friend of mine calls me and she goes, I was meditating on you, and it's going to sound weird, but you need to eat more peaches.
I know. Those things, those happen all the time.
Yeah.
I'm clear cognizant, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I just know things, I've been in construction, I've been in design, decorating, things like that.
Wow.
Okay. And it's I can look at the room, I can break it apart, I see it, I just know how to do it. Even if I was not trained in it, I know how to do it.
Oh, that's great.
So I can rip it apart and put it together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the show Iron Man, where he has this contraption where he sort of separates things in the air? That's what she does with her brain. That's what she does when she sees things. It just sort of, she takes,
put it together.
She'll see the one thing, and then she can sort of divide it into its different parts. And that, so when she explained it to me the first time, I was like, that's what Iron Man does.
Well, that's a fantastic gift. Unfortunately, I kind of have the opposite. I'm not good at that, but unfortunately, when it's done, I can tell if it was done right or not. So I have the worst of both worlds. I can't picture it ahead of time, but at the end, I can go like, oh, that wasn't what it was supposed to, or I can go, that was right.
But you know what? There's space for everything. Every talent is needed.
Yep.
So my talent's needed, Mama's talent's needed, your talent is needed, all to for humanity as a whole. And that's our goal. That's our goal from the beginning of humanity, is for everyone to come together, to work together, to benefit and to help mankind out. Egos and things like that, and greed and lust and all those horrible things and envy all get in the way of that.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to say, but it's true. Hi,
Anna. Can I tell just a quick story that made me think of, because in Energetic NLP, we always set the goal to have more wonderful, delightful synchronicities in our life. So I was painting my garage door, and everybody was telling me that the color I was doing was a mistake. And but I just really felt like, no, it was the right thing to do. So I did it. And the guys who were painting at the end go, you were right. This looks really good. And my neighbor on one side happens to walk out and goes, oh, that looks really good. And so we're laughing. And then they go, but what does your other neighbor think? My other neighbor walks out and goes, oh, that looks really good.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
every now and then I get it right, but
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I used to do that with people, if I was doing a job for someone else, say painting a mural or doing faux painting
uh,
in a room. And it's like faux painting is stages. And what the beginning thing
right,
might be a yellow wall and they're going to end up with a brown, orange, and like mixture. I'm like, don't judge till it's done.
right.
Right? Come back when it's done because this is the base. You have to have a base. You have to have your body,
Mhm.
So there are all these things, it's that way in everything. You
Mm.
need your beginning, your middle, your end. The same thing with our psychic development, with our NLP process, with our meditations, with everything. It's like you need all the different aspects to make that thing
Mm.
whole, you know. So you can't practice makes perfect, and you can't judge, until it's done. Oh boy,
Sorry.
Oh, I was scared.
you might
I
need to
mean,
go to that blank wall.
yeah, I think I'm gonna maybe just.
Gonna match my shirt again.
Can I turn this off and just have a green screen behind me?
Should be able to do that. I wonder if I could do that for you.
Yeah, and I don't know what.
All right,
Anyways, I'm gonna give up on
that's
it.
better. So now we see you.
Yeah.
Well, you tried because that background matched our background too, and it happens.
Well, I enjoy the background because that's actually what I'm looking at. So it's sort of fun to have.
Yeah, yeah. Well, this is my real office, so
Yes.
people have asked, "Is that a background?" It's like, it's my.
No, hers not a background herself, and
It
she's read all
changes.
them books.
It changes. Yeah, I've read almost every single one of those books.
Wow.
But yeah, speaking of, now you do have your. Well, you said you were in some books and things. Is that
Mhm.
like listed anywhere where people can like see your articles? Or is it more, for people to go to YouTube and watch your videos? Is that like the best way to get to know you and what you do?
Yeah, I think the best. Well, the best way is they can sign up and get some videos sent to them for
Mhm.
free.
Yeah, that's a good idea too.
And
These
that's
are all your links. You have your energeticnlp.com.
well,
Right?
no, and that one's it's called Blockbuster, the number
Yeah.
3.com.
Yep.
And but also I have a ton of videos on Facebook at the Energetic NLP page. I have lots of YouTube videos, and I don't think there's any other Art Giser on YouTube. There wasn't another Art Giser on Facebook. Some kid in Argentina, and I thought about having him eliminated, but I couldn't. So,
I knew I liked you.
well, when you have a slightly unusual name, it's sort of like, what? You can't have my name.
Yeah, right. I know. I didn't think people had my name, but they do.
They
It's like
do.
I want to put things on, or well, the Fox Den, was, but we have the Fox Den with Gina B and Mama D, the only one of those.
Right.
But I was surprised to see how many Gina Banksons there were. I'm like, wait, why, how?
It's not right.
Try,
It's
try
not right.
Googling Darlene. It's like, oh,
Oh,
my
yeah.
phone. Ooh,
I guess.
there's so many interesting people. They
Crazy.
need to change lives every so often.
Yeah.
But I do have some articles, and I had one of my books that I have a chapter in is on Amazon. Another one will be coming out I don't think it comes out until July or something that I'll have a chapter in, but my own book won't come out until the end of the year. So
What will be that title?
it'll probably be Discover Your Miraculous Self.
Perfect.
Cool.
Perfect.
So
Well,
that
when you
means you'll be
get
coming back, right?
Yeah, when you get
Yes,
that,
right.
you can come back here and we can talk about that, and then I can read the book, and we'll have a lot more to talk. Now, do you train people to do what you do as
I
well
do.
as? Okay, and is that on the site to sign up for courses? Are they? Is it Zoom? Is it one-on-one? Is it class type
They're on
Zoom?
my mailing list. I'll hear about all of them. We're redoing. It's not done yet. The web pages, and there's a lot of individual pages, but the whole overall site is being redone in the next couple of weeks. But if people are on the mailing list, then they'll be getting a mailing shortly that'll have all of them. So I have everything from very short program, like just one video to on-demand programs that have multiple videos or audios to 2-year-long programs. So I have a whole variety of things. And I do have one, we were talking about ancestral. I have one that's just about clearing and healing ancestral programming.
That's huge. That really is. I mean, it just disrupts so many people's lives and they have no clue whatsoever, you know?
Exactly, yeah.
It's like they work and they work and they work, and it's like, why is this black cloud still following me? I don't understand it. You know, you do everything right and you still get slammed down all the time. You know, people say, oh, well, you know, God doesn't give you things you can't handle. It's like, this is not right. There's enough of this already. There's nothing to do.
God thinks we can handle a lot.
Enough, okay? And I'm at that limit here, okay? But it's
full. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's an ancestral thing,
Mm-hmm.
and
that and also, so there when we're in the womb, so there's all that everything we brought in from other lifetimes and our ancestors, but we're also absorbing energies from our parents and other people. And I have a talk I'll give called "What if your problems aren't really your problems?" And any emotional state that somebody has too often or they can't handle well, there's about a 99% chance that most of the energy is not yours. So I'll give an example. A woman called me, it must have been 6 months ago now, and somebody I knew, and she goes, she had a long-term relationship that had broken up, and she goes, I'm feeling grief, but she goes, but I'm feeling overwhelmed by it, and it doesn't seem right to me. I'm just so overwhelmed by it. And I looked at her energy, and I went, well, 80% of that grief energy isn't actually yours. It's from your mother and other people. And so we cleared out other people's grief energies and just let her be in touch with her authentic energy. And she goes, well, I still feel grief, but it feels right. I feel solid. I'm not overwhelmed anymore. It just feels like my authentic grief. I'm sad the relationship ended. Or I'll get people, they'll go, I'm 55 years old and I'm an anxious person. I've always been an anxious person and I've learned to meditate and, and I can handle it, but I'm just an anxious person. I think it's genetic, and
well, that's the way you get things done. I'm like that. You know what I mean? Because I plan, like when I was working and I did my jobs, it's like in my head, I knew all the steps, like weeks before. And it's like, it's my way or the highway, and I'm the boss, so I say what goes. Right. So, and there'd be men coming in trying to say, no, we have to do, and I'm like,
yeah, right.
No. See ya. If you're not going to do it my way, see ya. I can find another one just like you right around the corner. Right. So, you do it this way. And then, lo and behold, it all works out exactly perfect on time, if not before. Oh,
that's great.
And I love that. Where I was going with that, I'm not sure. But Colette said,
chat room.
Yeah, God give you what he can handle, and he can handle everything. Can positive thinking make someone get better?
So in terms of the positive thinking part, positive thinking is usually helpful. And if that's the only piece that's missing, sometimes that's, it's like with nutrients, maybe that's the only one you're missing. But if you have positive thinking, but meanwhile you're running karmic patterns of spiritual contracts or programming. So like a lot of people have programming that they should be punished. Punishment programming is huge in society. And as an example of that, it's like, we talk about Santa Claus and he's jolly and he's happy. But what if you're a naughty kid? Not only do you not get a gift, but you get a lump of coal. So you get humiliated.
Yeah, but I used to look at it this way. Diamonds can be made from coal. Just have to put them on a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I think most kids, though. I agree with you. Don't take it that way.
Oh, trust me. I found my gifts and I opened up very late. I'm still able to open up gifts without anybody knowing that they were opened and reseal them back again. So don't get it.
Quite that is a gift, pun intended.
Naughty.
The thing is, and you see it in movies and in books, punishment, martyrdom, sacrifice are glorified. Like that's better. So I don't know if you ever saw the movie Dead Poets Society with Robin
Yes.
Williams.
Yep.
I really like that movie, but when this boy commits suicide, it felt wrong to me. It felt like, oh, they put that in because now people think it's more significant. Well, it was based on a true story, but my understanding is none of the kids committed suicide.
Right.
They added that in the movie because then people would think it was more significant. And so
Right.
we all have all this programming, and and sometimes you do need to sacrifice in life. I'm not saying that there isn't a role for that, but we don't have to glorify it. We don't have to create it. And so many people have programming, well, or that a lot of people have programming that good people are supposed to suffer. And almost every Catholic I know has that.
Yes.
Well,
Raised that way.
Yeah. Not that the church teaches that, but that like the first client I had that I really, first time I experienced, I saw this in a client, he goes, well, it's all about the passion of Jesus and his suffering. It's all about the suffering of the saints. And so after a while, you just start going, oh, well, I guess good people are supposed to suffer. So if I'm not suffering, maybe I'm not a good person. And obviously this isn't only Catholics, but I found a lot of Catholics have that. Other people have other versions of it.
Yeah, they use it's not really the church that puts the guilt on you. It's like the grandparents and the parents are putting the guilt on you, so that you stay in line. It's like, you're gonna get punished if you go down that street and you don't come home at this time, you're gonna get punished. God sees everything. They use that.
Well, that's the punishment part, but the other part is this belief, because our sense of identity is one of our strongest drives. And even we will try to preserve our identity, even if it's negative. So if we think we're a bad person, we'll do things to prove it. And if we think good people are supposed to suffer, then part of us will keep trying to make us a good person.
Yes. No, positive. What she was saying, though, the positive thinking can make you feel better. My dad always said that. It'd be like, if you were hot, think yourself cold. And we're in 110 degrees, and I'm like, Dad, I'm sorry, I'm hot. But I would try.
Can I? I'm sorry.
Can do that to a degree, but you can make yourself feel better too. Positive does help.
Oh, absolutely. And I was just looking at one of the comments in that the person, I don't know if they want their name used, but I feel like I'm being punished because my husband broke his back and wish it was me. And,
right.
If I can give a slightly long-winded answer to that, people there's different beliefs about karma. In my programs, we use, to my understanding, the Dalai Lama's version of karma, which he talks about a lot in the book, The Universe in a Single Atom, which is a great book. But in Tibetan Buddhism, karma has nothing to do with reward and punishment. Zero. It's just cause and effect. And it's sort of like if somebody smokes 3 packs of cigarettes a day for 40 years, now they may be fine, but if they do get, some kind of disease from it, they're not being punished for being a smoker. It's just cause and effect.
Yeah.
And that's the way they look at karma, is that everything we thought and done this in other lifetimes or our ancestors has effects. So one of the things in my programs, we really try to get people out of thinking of that as any kind of reward or punishment, and just learning how to clear it, because the goal is to just end these waves of karma, at least the ones that are causing unhappy events. But I just wanted to look at this person's energy for a moment. And again, when I teach my courses, I have an energetic NLP pledge I ask people to take, and I won't go through it all now. And I ham it up, and they have to raise their right hand. But essentially, the pledge is that they're not going to believe anything I tell them. And I go, I'm telling you what I made up a term, beliefs du jour, like soup du jour. So I'll go, this is what I believe today. I don't want you to believe it. I want you to consider it. But the goal is always that they'll get the information from their miraculous self. So I go, I don't want you to believe me. I want you to consider what I'm saying and open up to your own guidance. So my read of your husband, as horrible as that is, that he broke his back, is that is on his path. That and there is the opportunity for some really great spiritual growth there. And I'm not minimizing how horrible it is. But my read of your and his energy is it's not about punishment, in that there's a lot of karma and things that could be cleared, and programming and contracts that could make things better. But I would encourage you to acknowledge it feels like punishment, but that doesn't mean that's what it is, if that's helpful.
Pretty sure you were a terrible person in a past life, Christina.
I don't think so,
join
Miss.
the
I'm
club.
gonna rescue a baby skunk. No.
I've done a few of those things. I know who I was in like 4 of my lives. I definitely have had many. Maggie says, wondering about generational karma. Yeah, we've been talking about that, and it is definitely a thing. Now, but going back to Colette again, now Colette has been going through a lot with her husband for years now. He's been in the hospital. He's been, very sick, and she's had all the burden on her shoulders, So of course you start with, I'm going to make you better, and it's going to get better, and then you get dragged, and 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 then you're like swimming in sludge, and that's kind of where she is right now. She's like it's like defeated and depleted,
Yeah, well, I mean, I can relate. I had to be a caregiver for years, and ended in death and all of that. So believe me, it can be horrible, really horrible. And again, that the kind of simplistic thing that we tend to think is, am I being punished or rewarded? And I'm just encouraging you to, I would encourage you to get those videos that I talked about, the free ones, and go through those and just start clearing whatever is going on spiritually for you that either is helping to manifest struggle in your life, and or is making it harder for you to deal with things. And again, I'm not minimizing how horrible that kind of thing can be when the person you love is a series of illnesses, and it's horrible, and there are spiritual possibilities there.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to make that sound too easy, but it's doable.
Two things. The free videos that's on the
Blockbusters.
I believe I have
Blockbuster3.com.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it back into the chat room. I put it in earlier. And just, I mean, as much as Colette, as much as I know that you would love to be able to take it away from your husband, you got to remember one thing. This again, my opinion. Don't have to believe me, but just consider it. Thank you. Is that if it had been reversed, he may not have been able to take care of you as well as you're taking care of him. You're an amazing person. You're busting your tuchus, to put it nicely, to take care of him. And sometimes things happen to us or to people that we love because they know that we can handle it. As the comment was, God only gives us what we can handle. And I kind of sort of believe that, but I also know that all the stuff that I've been through in my life, as much as I despised it and wished before I knew better, could go back and change those things, I can't change them because then I wouldn't be the same person that I am today. The reason that your husband's going through this stuff is because the universe knew that you could handle being able to take care of him. As much as it weighs down on you, don't get me wrong, it's not. I understand it's not an easy thing, but as much as it weighs down on you, you're able to take care of him. Whereas I don't think he would be able to do the reverse. Not that he wouldn't want to. It's just that.
Yeah.
But
I get that. I get that. Yep. What things are happening are supposed to be happening.
Yeah.
Whether they're, good, bad, or really bad.
If I can, I'm sorry, I cut you off.
I just feel that's, what you need to be, where you need to be at this time. I do think that it will get better. I really do. I think her life will get better.
There are some people that I think can be inspirational on this. One is, and he has YouTube videos that he just goes by the name Mitchell, a motivational speaker. And I met him in person once, and he's like paralyzed from the waist down. He was horribly burned all over his body, and
Sorry, baby.
he's just he has an amazing life, and an amazing attitude. And what happened? He was in I forgot what happened, but he was like horribly burned and in the hospital, and like, you know, you can imagine what that's like for months and months and months. And then he was in a small plane accident, got paralyzed from the waist down. And he was a cable car gripman in San Francisco, and he ends up moving to Colorado. He becomes the mayor of the town, and he's really funny. Like, he goes, it's a small town, and he shows up, and he looks, you know, pretty terrible. I mean, maybe he looks better now, but and the first person he meets goes, "What happened to you?" And he goes, "So I told him." And he goes, "The great thing about a small town is then everybody knew the story." I didn't have to keep telling people. But him and there's a woman. I think the book is called Left to Tell. A woman named Miracule. Have you come across? She's got YouTube videos. A great one. And I briefly met her in person too. She was Rwandan, and she during the Rwandan genocide, when one group of people these people were all getting along, and then people, you know, got one group to attack the other group, and this neighbor of hers sheltered her, two other women, and a girl for 90 days in their bathroom.
Oh, God.
And they were almost caught by the other group a couple of times. If they'd have been caught, not only would they have been killed, but the family that harbored them would have been killed. But now, I mean, she would glow in the dark. I mean, she somehow came out of that, and she's this amazing, amazing person. And she talks about how she did it through her faith. She happens to be Catholic. But she, Mitchell, there's other people that just, I find really inspiring, that like, there are people who take the most horrible lemons and create something out of it. And it's really hard, but it's inspiring to know it's possible, you know?
Yep. Well, all right. Now, Christina says, I'm hoping this nerve and muscle damage from my botched lumbar fusion surgery will one day show its purpose, because this is trash. Sorry, I'm cranky. I get it. But you know what? You're still doing things. You're right. You're still out living your life. You've got, you know, you've got people who love you.
She rescued a baby skunk. I am following that with so much passion. I was like, oh my God.
Charger, the skunk. Charger's amazing. I love Charger. But she's going out. She's doing all the things. You know, it's not holding you back totally. You know, so. Maybe there'll be another surgery down the road. Maybe there can be some way to, you know, energetically go through, you know. I don't know if you've tried any energetic work, you know.
Yeah, it might really help. And the other thing, I think it's important to validate, you know, the crankiness and all the reactions, you know, the natural human reactions. And then, so for me, I mean, and this is much more minor. I ripped a few tendons off my shoulders, so I had to have shoulder surgery. And it's supposed to be one of the more painful surgeries in the recovery. And I had to have my arm out in this. They go, you're going to be in a sling, but it's actually this device that holds your arm out. I had to go to my high school reunion.
Like that?
You know, a week after the surgery.
With the stick, right? The thing.
Yeah, the next time I went to a reunion, everybody goes, "Oh, you're not in that thing anymore." But when I'd be wearing it, sometimes I'd just get really pissed about the whole thing, or it would hurt. And then I would really validate that. And then I'd go, and I'm lucky that I could have this. I mean, in my case, it wasn't botched. You know, I could have this surgery. And I would just try to find what I could be grateful for.
Grateful for.
Yeah.
Gratitude is
first. But first, I would validate the other feelings.
Right. But, you know, I mean, I have bad luck with doctors. Trust me. They botch me every time I have a surgery. But she said 3 additional surgeries, and she's thinking alien abduction is the answer.
Well, I would suggest you get those videos and use them and just see if that helps at all. You know,
It might, you know, you never know. You never know. The power of the mind is so powerful. I mean, God, have you ever just, I mean, you watch Tai Chi people and they move things across the room throwing energy. You know what I mean? Energy is very powerful. You can do remote healings. You can do these things. It's that powerful, you know, and it's that miraculous at times too. So there are many, 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 many miracle stories out there. I mean, millions, you know.
Oh, yeah. I will be checking out those videos myself because I, at 57 years old, did this in the middle of a grocery store. Not a good idea. Just warning people, don't do it. And
I'm
the
sorry, I couldn't hear what
doctors,
you said. Could you say
I
it
said,
again?
I, at 57 years old, did the splits in the middle of a grocery
Oh.
store.
Yeah,
Yeah, not a good idea.
Spill,
So
yeah.
the doctor said if I had broken something, it would have been a quicker heal. But
Right.
because I didn't, I just tore the heck out of everything, that I will be in pain for the rest of my life. And it's true. I am always constantly in pain, but I still work through it because for my brain, if I just sit on my tuchus and fuss and wallow in the pain and the ouch and the everything, then I won't get up and go again. I'll miss something. This way, I continue on. And like,
Well,
I
after you
find a workaround.
use the videos, I'll be curious if it helps at all, because there is a lot of energy in your pelvic region that is in the way of a better healing.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, that's a big sports injury that guys get, that they have to, you know, you tear the muscle off the bone. Bob had the same thing, tore the muscle off his bone. He had a 600-pound radiator come off of the bus, the mechanic, and hit him. And that, and it's like but it's like the same kind of a sports injury that like a football player would get. And it's like, you can get the surgery. They're not going to guarantee it's going to work, and you're going to be out for a long time, and you're going to be in a ton of pain, you know. And it's like, you know, you have to do this with these surgeries. Now, Christina here again was saying that she has to check out the videos, which she will. I know she will. She says she's going to do it. She will. Charger, the skunk, has herniated discs in his back. And he wasn't walking. He's like, he was dragging his back legs. Now he's walking. Excuse me. And she says, this is the line I want to say. More worried about him than myself.
We are always more.
Is this?
We are always more worried about. Why? Because in they can't take care of themselves.
Right.
And the way that nature takes care of themselves is when there's a sick animal in the pack or the pride or the whatever, then that animal is left behind so that it will sink or swim, for lack of a better word. And in this case, Christina's helping that little charger swim instead of letting him go to sink.
Oh yeah. But we all do. I mean, our animals are our babies, you know.
Babies.
And Bob gets jealous of how I treat my little puppy Biscuit.
Bob's just a football player who got injured. Now we know we love him.
Why do you treat me like that? Because you can ask and you can tell me exactly what's wrong and we can fix it. But the dog can't.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? So.
Well, I don't know if they have them for skunks, but they have those little rolling things that dogs who can't use their back leg can be hooked to, and then they can run with just their front legs.
Yeah, the wheels. But Charger's walking, so you know it's a better thing. He is doing better. But for us though, you know, I mean, it's like I've seen that happen too. You know, like I try to do the prana thing on Biscuit, you know, and heal him and his things. And I find that when I'm in a better space, I can make him better quicker.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
If I'm not in a good space myself, I can't.
That's normal.
You know. Yeah.
Well, and you can learn though to be able to do the healing whether you're in a good space or not. And in fact, before I learned any healing techniques, I heard this woman speak, really interesting healer, and she was healing people and was a really good healer, but she was always like, I have to heal them and I have to be in the right place and everything. And she ended up getting breast cancer, and things worked out for her. But she realized for her that she put so much pressure on her self that she had to be in the right place to do healing. And she goes, I discovered I could be in whatever mood I'm in and still do the healing.
Yeah.
So,
I find I heal, my healing works better when I'm not, because I sort of, if I'm in a crappy ass mood or I'm not feeling up to it, because I kind of remove myself from myself when I'm working with somebody else.
right.
So for me, that's how that works. But if it's somebody who's close to me, like Regina or my immediate family, I'd be like, because I think about it too much. When you think about it, that's where I stop myself.
Yeah. And the thing is, if you're, we all have a tendency, those of us who are interested in healing, to use our own energy. And a lot of the old programming told us to do that. So that sometimes, when we're not in the best place, sometimes it's even easier to just not use any of our own energy and, use the Reiki or use the pranic energies. But you might try it out sometime and see like what happens if you when you're healing and when you're not in the best place, if you go, oh, that's irrelevant.
Well, I remember in the class, right, when we were learning this thing, there was a girl, she had a really bad belly, and this was the first time that I have done this, like really, really, and I'm really like, I just want to make her better. I'm like really putting my energy into that and everything. And everyone's just standing around. She's on the table and I got my hands over her belly and I'm working. And this is honest to God truth. Okay. You heard this just like that, this popping sound, her belly pain went from her right into me. And I doubled over in pain. She sat up like, oh my God, what just happened? She felt perfect. Right. I'm like, oh my God, and the class is just like, what the heck was that? You know what I mean? But everybody heard that and it's the sound, what it sounded like. Wow. But then then I was taught to not do that. Take that energy and disrupt it. But it's like it's a learning thing. You'll never do that again. Yes. It happens once. You will sure not.
Well, it took me more than once. I mean, I never had the popping sound, but my first teachers didn't tell me anything about absorbing energies from other people. And when I know when they made a deep change, because I could feel the energy radiating, but to me, it felt kind of like being by a fire. I didn't realize I was absorbing their stuff. And all of a sudden, like my stomach hurt a lot, and my digestion was bad. I mean, I looked like the perfect picture of health, but I wasn't feeling that way. And it wasn't until people finally introduced me to in fact, this woman named Hazel was just, I don't have words for whatever she was. I mean, she was phenomenal. And I was like, I think 33 or 4 at the time and a bit macho. And she goes, oh, the way you do healing is so cute. Now, at this point in my life, being called cute is appealing. When I was in my 30s, cute wasn't what I wanted to hear. And I went, what? And she goes, well, it's so old fashioned. And I went, strike two,
Right.
And she goes, what do you mean? And she goes, well, the old way of healing people is you take on their stuff and heal it in your body. She goes, this is the new age. You use earth and universal energies and the healing's in their space. I mean, you have a healing going on too, but their healing's in their space, your healing's in your space. And that was like, oh, that would explain a lot,
Yeah. See, I pull it out and I ground it and I just and I throw it away from both of us. So it's not coming into me, it's out of them, and it feels like sludge. It does. That's exactly what it feels like when I go over a body and I hit a spot. And it's like my hands will start like burning, vibrating even, you know what I mean? And I just and it instinctively just want to pull it until like taffy, like you know what I mean? Like pull this stuff out and just keep throwing it until it's able to pass over it clearly, Now Maggie says, can you touch on energy transfer and how to keep it from happening? Sometimes it's hard to not feel or take on that energy, which is exactly what we're talking about. So how do I know I do this like empath wise, blocking, grounding, shielding, you know what I mean, daily. To keep that from other people's energy.
Yeah, and what I would suggest, Maggie, 2 things. One, broken record. If you get the videos, and watch them with the intention of clearing what is the programming in you that's telling you to take on their energy. Because you have a lot of this programming to take care of other people, heal other people, and from this and other lifetimes. So you want to clear like what in you is because everybody's the sovereign of their energy field. So nobody's energy can stay in your energy field unless it's hooking into something. I'm sorry, I was looking at her note. It's funny. So I'll look at the camera. It's like I felt connected to you, Maggie. I was looking at your picture.
I love Maggie. I love her.
But you're the sovereign of your energy field. We all are. But we all have things that we can hook into. It's sort of like Velcro. And the Velcro can be spiritual contracts, karma, programming, unconscious programming, and beliefs. So the videos will help you clear the Velcro that's holding on to the other people's energy. But then the other thing you can do, so one way to do it that can work really well is like you were saying, protection. There's a way that I like to do it that's a little different. And because protection can work really well, but sometimes you can get in resistance to the other energies. So you're kind of like keeping them out. And, we all know what you resist persists. What I would like to do instead is to redirect the energy. So if you know what a lightning rod is, or if any of you in the UK, lightning connector, it's a piece of metal on a building, and then you put a wire around the building into the earth. And so it doesn't stop the lightning, but when it hits the lightning, instead of going through the building, it goes around the building into the earth. So it's kind of like a keto or something. You're not stopping it, you're redirecting it.
Yeah.
So you can imagine 4 symbols around you, in front, behind, left, right. And it doesn't matter what the symbol is. I just see little balls of energy. But if you want a pyramid or a star or whatever, that's fine too. And then you imagine they're grounded into the earth. And then you ask your spirit and your inner wisdom that any energies that are coming towards you that your spirit doesn't want you to have to deal with, hit the symbols, and then they just are grounded into the earth. So you're not resisting them, you just redirect them. Yep. And for extra credit, you can also go, any energy that I'm releasing that I don't want other people to have to deal with, hit the symbols and go into the earth. So again, it's 4 symbols, in front, behind, left, right. They're grounded into the earth. And you ask your spirit just to direct the energies into that. And that'll work really well. It won't work too well until you go clear the beliefs and programming that are going, I must take on their energy. I must heal them. I must save them, which I used to have in spades. So if I sounded sarcastic, I'm talking to myself.
To that little video that I saw before with the guy that leaves this house. It's a little cartoon, and he walks out there. He's all white, and he walks out, and the first person he meets, he's taking on some of their sludge, and he's turning a little bit black. And then by the time he gets home, and he's meeting all these people, and he's sad, and he's angry, and he's, this and that, all the way around everybody else's emotions. By the time he gets home, he is just completely black and dragging, and that's the little picture I have in my head every time I see questions like this. So, like working in the paranormal field, working in the energetic healing fields, we need to block and shield. I do it twice a day, in the morning and at night. So at night, I'm clearing the crap that happened all day. And in the morning, I am, clearing the crap that happened during the night. Because this stuff is still coming at you in the night. So now you're preparing for the day. But you do need to do this, and you do need to find something that works for you. Now you don't mind people, like you're not the end all be all of everything. You don't mind people going around and looking for other venues and different methods and methodologies and whatnot. It's what works for you. If your system works for, everybody, that would be a miracle, honest to God, because it's not the right fit for everybody, but it's the right fit for majority. You know what I mean? So this what he's got to offer, guys, you really got to check it out, because it's beneficial to all of us that work in this field, all of us that works in the energy, paranormal, spiritual, emotional, all these things. Empathic. Okay, Maggie's very empathic. So yeah, we have to clear this stuff out. Our chakras do need to be aligned. Our systems do need to be cleared. We do need to, when we empty a system, we have to fill our system. And what do we fill it with? It's like some people say, I want white light. I want a white light to fill me. Blue light or yellow light or whatever, purple lights. They're all different. They're all different energies and they're all different purposes. Research. Find out what you need for you. And keep trying until it works, because it does. It will be a thing that works. I used to take on all those people's energies all the time. I don't anymore, not at all. Sometimes I think I block too much, but I know I carry on. I'm sorry. I apologize. But David says, my wife is a bit unwell. She spent the day in bed yesterday with a little food in her. I cooked her some scrambled eggs in the morning with a few sausages. My hands were pretty full. When the range hood turned itself on. Oh, it did. It turned itself on. I don't know what you're saying here. But
his hands were full and the range hood turned itself on automatically without his hand.
So that needed that. That's you got a helper.
That's great.
And Mary Jane loved what you were talking about. And
Colette needs sleep.
You definitely need your sleep. But just please check out his videos on that blog.
I sent her the link for your free videos into her Facebook Messenger. So
good. And Colette, let me know if you use them, how it works for you. And I can suggest some other things afterwards.
Yeah, because
again, I'm looking at her.
She could use some
picture.
Yeah, she could use some help. She's a lovely, lovely soul, and she's been through it, and going through it.
She looks like almost like an angelic energy around her. It's really quite beautiful.
I would agree. Yep. But it's tough to keep that, that halo polished at times.
Oh yeah.
I don't polish mine.
You just glow.
People just have to deal with me. They don't like it. That's the problem. I'm special. I'm the bus clicking window kind of special.
I love you. All right. Now, you were talking about before about your pledge that you make people take, and I thought that was. But you also have another thing. You have the karma contracts. What's that you talk about? What's karma contracts?
Well, karma and spiritual contracts. So spiritual contracts are agreement. Sometimes people talk about spirit and soul contracts, but they're agreements your spirit has made with other people or groups or ancestors or nationalities, and the contracts can be from this or other lifetimes. The first time I learned about them, my teacher John Norman back in the early 90s. He goes, you have these spiritual contracts that were from a time when you were a Catholic monk, and there were vows of poverty. Would you like me to get rid of them?
Rid of that? Yes.
And I went, yes, please. And in the way that he worked with contracts, there's a way you end them, and then you imagine making copies of the contracts, and you just send those copies back to whomever the contracts were with, just to inform them that you've changed the contract on the inner level. So he has me send the contracts back, and he giggles, and I go, "What's so funny?" And he goes, "Well, I thought they'd all go to the Vatican, but some of them went to Avignon." And I went, "Avignon?" And he goes, "Yes, at one time the Vatican was in Avignon, France." And I went, "Avignon?" And he goes, "Yes, at one time the Vatican was in Avignon, France." And I go, "Avignon, like where I was last week." And what was funny is when you were talking about your visual skills, and I'm saying I'm kind of the opposite. So I'm famous for going the wrong direction. Like if I go to the left, my friends go to the right, kind of thing. And
well, I didn't say it worked with directions with me. I'm not good at directions. Oh my God. I've lived in Pennsylvania for 5 years. I still need a GPS to get down to this grocery store.
Now I feel better. But when I was in Avignon, like we wanted to find this little tiny store, and I just somehow just, and there wasn't any GPS. It was just from a map and everything. And the friend I was with was going, wow, that's so unlike you. I mean, I didn't have any deja vus, but it was funny that I could navigate around Avignon really well. But again, the idea of spiritual
Because you've been there.
contract, and they and you have spiritual contracts for sure with your mom, your dad, stepmothers, stepdads. Often with contracts can be with groups too, religions or spiritual groups or nationalities or ethnic groups. And in fact, I have a funny contract story. One time, one of my clients goes, "I'd like you to see my 16-year-old son because I think he has memory problems." And I went, "Okay, I'll see him." And a great kid, really smart, and we really bonded. We both read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and it was his favorite book, and we bonded over that. And the way I was trained to do NLP, sometimes you're teasing people, and finally I go, you don't have a memory problem. He goes, I don't. I go, you have an attitude problem. And he goes, what? And I go, you can tell me everything in that book. What do you forget? Homework assignments, dental appointments. Are we seeing a pattern? And he starts laughing. He goes, well, you're right. And I go, so, your memory is fine. It's just what's important to you. And he goes, well, there's something else though. And I go, what? And he goes, I don't know why I like what I like. And I went, okay, explain. And he goes, and this was years ago when, you remember when the quote unquote heroin look was in rock and stuff, these very emaciated, people who look like heroin addicts. And he goes, I like these rock stars that look, like they've been on heroin, but I don't know why I like them. I don't think I really do. And there's foods, I like them, but I don't think I really like them. And there's clothes, I like them, but I don't think I really like them. And I went, well,
what was that commercials? The AE or something? One of those places that close all those commercials, all the models look like that. And I'm like, how is this attractive?
Yeah, exactly. It was like one of those, like, but this is coming into something else called thought forms that can relate to contracts. So thought forms are energetic formations that can have all kinds of programming and rules and beliefs and ideas. And every group creates thought forms, and people get hooked into them. So he was hooked into this teenage thought form, and it was telling him what to like and what not to like. And so I told him, I go, first, I'm really impressed that at your age, you're able to go like, I'm liking things, but I don't think I really like them. I go, that would, I go, in my 30s, I wouldn't have figured that out. Right. And I go, but it's coming from these thought forms, these teenage thought forms. Would you like me to disconnect you from one? And he goes, well, what'll happen? I go, well, you'll still be a teenager. You can still hang out with your friends, but you'll have your own, desires, thoughts, beliefs, and programming. So I disconnected him. And the next time I saw him a few weeks later, he goes, my taste in everything has changed, but it feels like me now.
Nice. Nice.
So
we all need that. We all need that.
So people, along with the contracts and everything, I hadn't mentioned yet, these thought forms. And the other way that thought forms can affect people is they can look like beings. So a lot of times when people see demons, they're not beings. They're like a movie. They're like an energetic movie, and they can seem really very real, and they can even interact with you, but they're no more alive, if you want to use that word, than like a computer program, AI that can interact with you. So a lot of times when people are seeing demons and stuff, I'll look and go, they're just thought forms, and we'll clear them, and then they're gone. But most thought forms are these programming. So every group you or your parents ever identified with, you're liable to be hooked into the thought forms, and they can again be from ancestors, they can be from past lives. So, but they're easy to disconnect from.
So now, how would we do that? How would we start that process?
There's some people just sort of cut the connection to the thought form. They cut the cord to it. Yeah. But the problem with that is, remember I said you're the sovereign of your energy field. So whatever that thought form was hooked into is still there. The Velcro is still there. So in energetic NLP, we work on the Velcro first. So we put the miraculous self in charge, and then we do processing in the videos. But I can take people through a process too here, and then you start clearing whatever it's hooked into, and then you disconnect from it.
Yeah.
And that way, it can't reconnect. You know.
Yeah, Maggie says it's like cutting cords. It is. Like we have a thing in the paranormal field that we do that. Some people get attachments, some people get, things stuck to them, and we call that cord cutting to get rid of those. Same type of thing, same type of energetic work, although this is it's a little different,
Well, can I just say the big difference is when you just cut a cord, and that can work, but you've left whatever it hooked into.
A wide open space. You have to fill that.
Well, but often it's like you have to do that for sure. But there's also whatever programming, beliefs, karma, whatever it hooked into is still there. So something else can still hook into it, and it will still be affecting you on other levels. So, but if you use the cord as a way to find that stuff, then you not only do you disconnect from whatever it is, but you clear the belief of the programming that's inauthentic to you that it hooked into.
Right. And to get to the true you don't realize, again, like these things, like our ancestral damage, our baggage from way back, these cords, these things that attach to us, you don't realize that these are not your thoughts, that this is just not you. This is not how you felt 10 years ago. Why do you feel like this now? And you really think that this is it. This is my belief system is this. And it's like, I don't know how this happened, but it's not. It's not, and it can go, and you can get back to you.
Well, that's so profound and so important. I mean, it's so huge because, like I said, people don't even, a lot of people, they're good at clearing energies and they bring in fresh energies, but they still think that things are them that aren't them. So we pursue goals in our life that aren't really our goals. We're operating out of rules and programming that isn't really ours. It's like about sacrifice and punishment. And I mean, and what you said, I think, is key to like really profound personal development and spiritual development.
Yeah, and it's a hard thing to bring about, and the thing is everyone sits back and procrastinates, and it's like we always procrastinate the things that give us the best outcomes. I don't know why that is, right? But we do, It's ridiculous.
And there's a part of the universe has a sense of humor, I think.
Yeah. They sit back and they laugh at us, and they'll all talk about it on the next level. Maggie says, "Do you dive deeper into our inner self to find out where they're coming from? That karma, part life energy that's attached to our spirit."
Well, great question. And again, in energetic NLP, we turn that over to your miraculous self. In fact, maybe this would be a good time, or I don't know if we need a break first, to take people through a process so they can actually see what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. Let me get everything uncrossed here. This would be good.
Oh, past karma, great.
Past karma. I was like,
I was thinking pad karma. That's interesting. What is that?
Yeah. Okay. I just maybe it's a thing.
Read it with your heart, not with your eyes.
Yep. Okay. All right.
But we could do some karma clearing in just a little bit if you'd like.
Please do.
I love that. Do you need to take a break to set for it?
I'm sorry?
Do you need to take a break before we start?
Okay.
I'm good.
I'm good. I'm ready.
Dogs are all sleeping.
Great. So
Maggie's like, yes.
Just a couple of concepts about how energetic NLP works that I alluded to, but let me just briefly. So again, you're going to put your miraculous self. So you'll set an intention, what aspect of your life you want to improve, and just pick one, because this is recorded. You can watch it again. And if you watch it again, if you imagine it's happening right now while you're watching it, you'll access the energies. I've been making recordings for 35 years at least. And it works. You just pretend, and somehow we get outside of linear time and you connect with it. So, well, I'll have you create your miraculous self, which is, again, your spirit and your deep inner human wisdom working together. And the reason for that, and people use the word spirit to mean different things. What I mean when I use the word your spirit, I mean the higher frequencies of your non-physical self. You can think of it as being further from the top of your head, the higher frequencies of your non-physical self. And the more you get into those higher frequencies, the more you get into your real spirit, which is got this, your spirit knows what you're doing this lifetime, why things are happening, how your life fits into the unfolding of humanity and everybody's life. And even if it's somebody lying in the gutter who's a drug addict, they're part of the unfolding. There are no extra people. If you weren't supposed to be here, you wouldn't be here. Your spirit sees the big picture. And it's kind of like the perfect parent going, whatever you want, dear. And you're like, you want to have abundance? Well, that's a valid spiritual path. You want to struggle? Well, that's another valid spiritual path. You're not because it doesn't care, but because it just sees, all kinds of valid spiritual paths, a lot of which, we don't want to have, consciously. Your deep inner human wisdom is very practical. It's wise, but it's practical. So it can go to your spirit like, well, I know that being sick is a valid spiritual path, but is there another way to do this spiritual path? Is there another way that maybe you understand what I'm saying? So when they come together, you get that vast perspective and knowledge of your spirit, but you also get this very human perspective. And because it's really funny, at least my experience when I connect with my own or other people's spirits, a lot of times it goes, oh yeah, that's fine. And you go like, not from down here. It's like, yeah, I know ultimately it's all fine, but down here,
from this angle, not so much.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little different from this perspective. I remember back in the 80s, a friend of mine was channeling this being, and he goes, you're all too concerned about money, talking to the group. And I went, easy for you to say, you don't have a body. And then it went, well, good point.
Yeah, because you don't need it, right?
So we're going to create your miraculous self, which takes a minute. It's incredibly simple. And then during the process, there's 4 things to do that are all simple. You set your intention, at or better. Then you give permission to receive the benefits. Because just because you've set an intention doesn't mean your energy field is giving permission to receive the benefits. So you set your intention, you just declare that you're giving permission to actually receive the benefits. Then you give permission for your miraculous self to be in charge. And then the 4th part, you just use your imagination. So when the process is going on, the way to not get much out of it is it working? Is it not working? Am I doing it right? Am I not doing it right? It's like trying to dance when you're going, am I moving right?
Yeah.
And you end up looking like an elephant on the floor.
Really?
So when it's going on, you don't need to believe it's working. Just like a child, just pretend it's working. Like you were 5 years old and they went, okay, all this wonderful energy is coming in and it's doing all this wonderful things. You go, okay, and you giggle and just, you wouldn't even cross your mind whether it was real or not. So again, it's intention, permission to receive, permission for miraculous self to be in charge. And then just while it's going on, just pretend that it's working. Then later you can analyze it to your heart's content.
Right.
Okay. So we ready?
Ready. Yep.
So is working on karma sound good?
Yep.
Perfect.
And let me just say, working on karma lights up all kinds of programming, because a lot of the ancestral programming and past life programming is, only a great master can release your karma. And maybe that was true back in the day, but your miraculous self can heal and release your karma. And again, we're using that Tibetan Buddhist perspective on karma, which is it's just cause and effect. It's not reward and punishment. And sometimes people get worried about releasing karma, and your miraculous self is not going to heal any karma that it shouldn't heal. And you will still have karma when we're done. You don't have to worry about it.
Sorry.
We're only going to clear some of it right now. And
Is
yes,
this
it's
something 18 can do? Yes.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Probably better if they're into it.
Get it early. Don't let the
Get
sled
early.
build up.
Yes,
So let's
please.
set our group energy space. So just imagine this is giant gold ball of energy, and wherever you are in the world, we're all inside of it. And then just imagine it's a space where you feel loved and appreciated and acknowledged. It's a space where where it's easy to heal old programming and karma and spiritual contracts. It's a space where it's easy to get a download from your miraculous self. So as we clear things, your miraculous self will be bringing in wisdom and knowledge, concepts, skills, abilities, attitudes, and behaviors, and it will come down and integrate into your personality. And you probably won't consciously be aware of it. So you'll just set your intention that it will come in and get integrated so that you can use it. And that works better if you don't try to analyze it. And remember that what's coming in is coming from your spirit and your inner wisdom, so you can trust it. So we're in this giant gold ball of energy, and just imagine it's filled with divine love and all kinds of healing and nurturing energies, energies that validate you and acknowledge you. And set your intention that what we're about to do, what you're about to do, is going to clear karma, heal it in a way that will wonderfully enhance your life. And we'll just add, or something even better. And you as a conscious being have a right to make decisions in your life and choices. So just decide that you're willing to receive and that you're going to receive the benefits. Even if part of your unconscious mind is going, but, it's like you're going, I'm giving permission. Done. Then right now, set your intention that your spirit and your inner wisdom are going to create your miraculous self. And just give permission for that to happen, and then just pretend that it's happening. It really is as easy as that. Take an easy, deep breath. And then just imagine you already have a miraculous self, and give it permission to be in charge of this karma healing and releasing process, and in charge of the downloads that will come in of wisdom and knowledge, concepts, skills, abilities, attitudes, and behaviors that will wonderfully enhance your life. And then just imagine a whole symphony of energies are coming into your energy field. And your miraculous self is picking which ones it wants to use and what it's going to do with them. What karma is going to get healed, or old programming will get changed, or spiritual contracts. Just let your miraculous self figure all of that out. And just imagine these wonderful energies are healing and clearing karma and much more than that. And the energies are also clearing and healing your cells and your DNA, your organs, all the systems in your body. Imagine that old beliefs and programming that your miraculous self doesn't want, it's just being sent into the earth, and the earth is just going to transmute them and turn them into pure energy. And if you are watching this as a recording later, just imagine this is happening right now, and you'll access all the energies. And karma is being released. Spiritual contracts are being revised or ended. All of your chakras are being worked on, including the chakras that you don't know about, because we have a lot more than 7 chakras. Some of them are above your head, going up 9 feet, 3 meters above your head. There's chakras in that whole space. Your miraculous self knows all about them. There's many chakras in the body. There's some below your feet. Just give your miraculous self permission to use the energies to heal and activate all of your chakras so that you have a more and more miraculous life. Easy, deep breaths. No effort. Just let your miraculous self and the energy do all the magic. And remember, just pretend that it's working. You can analyze it later. For now, pretend it's working. And affirm that as things are being cleared, your miraculous self is downloading and integrating into you wisdom and knowledge, concepts, skills, abilities, attitudes, and behaviors that will wonderfully enhance your life. And these are just being like a computer download. It's just being downloaded into you and integrated and then operated by your miraculous self. And if there's any part of your body that's not feeling good, just imagine universal divine love is filling that part of your body. And don't insist on it being healed. Imagine being filled with love and let nature take its course. Take some nice, easy, deep breaths. It's nice and easy. And now energies are coming in to help you process and integrate the benefits of what you just did. Because you'll be processing this at least for days, and that's good. And the energy is coming in to just make that processing easy and comfortable and enjoyable. Emotional energies may have come up during this meditation. All of you released emotional energies, but some of you felt it. So if you did, just let it release. It's just old energy wanting to be released, most of which won't even be yours. From the heart of the earth, let a column of energy come up near the base of your spine. Just let the earth do all the work. And then give it permission to ground you, but to ground only your authentic energy into your body. So give the earth permission to ground only your authentic energy into your body. And a fun way to imagine that is to imagine there's a point of light in your energy field for every cell in your body. And when the earth grounds you, every point of light gets back in the cell it belongs in. Everything lines up. And that grounding column is like the root of a tree. So whatever your miraculous self wants to release is going down, you're grounding into the earth, and the earth transmutes it. And Mother Nature, Mother Earth energies are coming up to fill you. Energies that love you, acknowledge you, heal you, nurture you. Energies that help you manifest. So this gentle flow down of what you're releasing, and a gentle flow up of energies that nurture you, heal you, and help you manifest. Love you and acknowledge you. Validate your right to exist. Let's dissolve that gold ball, our group energy space. And when we do meditations like this, there's a tendency to mix up our energies. And it's very, very, very important that you retrieve all your energies back. Otherwise, you'll be depleted and it's not good for other people. So just ask your miraculous self to retrieve all of your energy out of our space, and we'll pull all of our energies out of your space. And as you retrieve those energies, if there's any of them your miraculous self doesn't want, it's just to go down, you're grounding into the earth. And give your miraculous self permission to fill you up now with more of your authentic essence. And your miraculous self knows what that is. Let it fill up your cells, your DNA, your chakras, your energy channels, and your aura, and your whole body with more of your true essence. And it will also fill you up with earth and universal energies that will support you now and in your next steps in life. And any excess energies, you can just go out, you're grounding into the earth. And when you do an energetic NLP process like this, your energy field is better and more authentic, and it's different than it was. And on an inner level, people and even pets sometimes notice that something's different. So the way to make that work really easily is you do what we call spiritual emails. And in a spiritual email, your miraculous self is sending out little messages to everybody in your life and just going, oh, this is what my energy looks like now. Bye. You're not looking for approval or permission. You're just showing them. And include your pets, include the people you haven't met yet that your spirit wants you to meet. Imagine all these little emails going out.
It's pretty amazing.
Thank you. So wiggle your fingers and toes, pat your body. You can stretch a bit.
You know what? My head was tingling. My hands were pulsing at first, and I pulled something really bad last week in my neck. I thought I was going to end up having surgery. I swear to God, it was that bad, and into my shoulder and down my arm and everything. And I just felt this whole thing like something happening to it, and it was going down, 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 down. And then it was like getting stuck right here. You know, and I'm just like, okay, let it go, just let it go, just let it go, you know. And right now it's like it's sore, but a different kind of sore. You know?
Yeah, that's great.
It's weird. It's like I think this can go away, where before it was, you know, coming from my neck, and now it's just right here. She said her bubble turned into a box. Okay. When her miraculous self came.
Interesting.
That's pretty amazing. Yeah, mine was like straight up. Like this. Like a very proud poof, you know. Straight up.
That's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and I should let people know if any of you are feeling a little spacey right now, that's totally normal, because I use a lot of high frequency energies. And, you know, two things I forgot to mention. One is that if you're doing anything after this that requires safety, set your intention and give permission for your miraculous self and your unconscious mind to make sure you're grounded, safe, and alert. And the other thing is set your intention that tonight and for the next 4 nights, part of the time when you're sleeping, not all night, your miraculous self and your unconscious mind can review what you did in this meditation. And when it's reviewing it, it'll get infused with wisdom and knowledge, concepts, skills, abilities, attitudes, and behaviors from your miraculous self. So that while you sleep, the benefits will be made deeper, richer, wider, higher, and more multidimensional, and they'll automatically get integrated into your mind, emotions, body, and energy field while you sleep soundly, deeply. Huh?
Love this. I love this.
Great.
So Maggie said she immediately saw the gold bubble and felt lighter. She was at the beach yesterday meditating and could feel the vibration coming up from the sand as if grabbing negativity.
Oh, beautiful.
That's really cool. Let's see what else we got. Are there any repercussions to ending spiritual contracts?
Well, no, not if your miraculous self is in charge. The only kind of repercussions, if you want to call it that, is sometimes the other person will try to get in touch with you or something because on the inner level they feel something shifted. But no, as long as your miraculous self is in charge, whatever happened was what's beneficial for you.
Yeah. And she got a good point here. Drink your water. This is always a good thing when you get done.
Definitely.
Yep. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You know, it's good for the body. But I feel like, I feel like I was just asleep. Like I just woke up. I feel really good. I feel giddy.
Yeah, I was working. There's a group I work with every week right before I came onto this, and they always said they just go to really deep trance and then come back out.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like we're used to meditating and stuff. So it's like, it's easy for us. But some people, they don't have, it's not that simple. And again, practice makes perfect. Practice makes perfect. I am going to rewatch this because I want to do this again. Is she smiling big? I'm smiling big. That's how I feel. I feel great. I feel really good. This is going to be a lot to process because that was a crap ton of energy. Let me put it that way. A lot was going on. Like I did. I had all these different things because of the tingling in my head and throbbing in my palms. Just this part of my palms was just like whoop, 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 and I'm like, what is this? And then it just like whooshed through. And everybody's going to have a different feeling,
reaction to it. Yeah.
So how did you feel, Mama?
I was like, the whirly cups at the stairs. That's what I was on.
Oh.
But it wasn't. Usually those things make me sick. I don't like it. But it was a good kind of whirly tilt-a-whirl cup thing. I was like, nice, but it was like every so often I would see flashes of things, and I'm going to be honest with you. When this show is over, I'm going to snip out this part, and I'm going to share it with Gina and myself. And if anybody else wants it, let me know. And I will share that part with you, and you can just redo the meditation and always have them constantly in your ears.
She feels giddy too. That's awesome. Her tingle in the right ear vibrated. See, everyone is going to have, everyone's going to have a little. I wouldn't be able to walk right now either. I'm
no driving.
Swirling in gold dust. That's awesome. Yeah, gold is good. Good healing. You were going to ask what?
I just said to Mary Jane that. Sorry, feeling a little shaky right now. That'll pass, and just kind of, drink water, move around a little bit, or just enjoy it for a little while if you don't have to do anything.
Yeah. Oh, she wants the clip. Yeah, Mary Jane wants the clip. Yeah.
No problem.
It's like, well, I do like, I don't know if you noticed, there's just the selenite. I like to,
great.
Just kind of, just cleans the energy for me.
Nice.
I like it. I like the energy that I get from it too, and it's just another layer. I don't know if you ever work with crystals or anything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Because I just like doing that, and I have my protection things are always with me,
That's great.
Even here, but all these things help. The combination, like I said before, we need all these different things,
Exactly.
and you find the right combination for what works for you.
Yeah.
Because some people are more empathic than others. Some people are more psychic than others. Some people are more, gifted. Some people, some people can't meditate. I mean, some people just can't do it. It's impossible for them to do it. And there are different ways for you to get the same nirvana than meditating, but
Well,
it's all search. It's all out there.
well, my heart is smiling that you're saying this, because there's so many people doing really nice work who like, this is the way to do it, and this is the truth, and this is,
Yes.
and I love that you're saying there's lots of different ways, try different things, see what fits for you. And most of my teachers were very eclectic. I'm always working with people and learning new things. So I just makes me feel good to hear you say that, because there's so many people, they mean well, but it's like,
There's
we
no
have the
such thing as a
secret.
one size fits all.
Yes, thank you.
No, definitely not. Shay says she feels like she got rid of some stuff. That's great. That's great.
Nice.
Excellent.
That's no, that's the that's the point of it,
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah,
when he said you're authentic. I have to
Miraculous self. Yeah.
miraculous stuff. I have to like watch this again. Bring in your true, let your true stuff,
Authentic essence.
the healing of your DNA and everything else. It's like it's like kind of like the parting, you know what I mean? Like it comes down and it just like parts out, and it's using that center line that that we have.
Mhm.
That's us,
Yes.
that's what we need. That's us in here. We need that. And I love this. You're amazing.
Oh,
You're
for now I'm happy.
Thank you for doing that. I truly mean that. Thank you so much. All right, and guys, here you go. Blockbuster3.com. He's got some free videos there for you. All right, you can check him out on Facebook, Energetic and NLP. He's on LinkedIn, Art Giser. Like you said, there's not a lot of Art Geisers out there.
No.
EnergeticNLP.com. But go to the YouTube channel, watch the videos. He's been on a lot of other shows as well. So, like if you want more art, you can go in there, and he's been on, I mean, check this out. The Love Code, award-winning Dare to Dream podcast, 1150 KKNW, Happy Insights, The Holistic Monitor, Talk Edge Radio, Leading Visionaries, Sense of Soul. The list is endless. All right. So if you put in Art Giser podcasts or interviews, I'm sure a million things are going to come up, and you can get more and more art. But if you want to watch this one again and again and again,
Now I proudly get to add the fox den to
the
this.
fox den. Yes, you need to add the fox den to that list.
And I want to be clear. I still appreciate what you both are doing and the energy you put around it. And like I say, it's just so wonderful to hear people validate that, there's different ways for different people, and that, you through your show, you show people lots of different incredible things. So it's an honor to be part of this,
Oh, thank you.
even if I'm green.
It's okay.
I feel like Kermit.
Match my shirt.
I like the green. I like the green.
Okay. Show off my tan.
Let's see. What else we got here? A lot of visual. She's saying like she was watching a movie. That's really cool. Yeah, I was seeing some stuff. You start time, feel your inner soul. Your start time, but you do feel your inner soul. It's like, oof, right here. Pink came up through the earth, grabbed her like an umbrella, and tightened and grounded as gold went back to the earth and turned pink. That's pretty amazing. Now, pink is a pretty powerful color there.
Can I say something to Carmen? Can she put up? Sorry, I'll have to rewatch the video. I missed so much. It's normal in energetic NLP processes for lots of people go off to la la land, and that's fine. Once you've set your intention, put your miraculous self in charge, it's fine if you don't remember the rest of what I said. You can watch the video again, but you didn't miss it. It was just, you were just kind of off, and that actually often makes it better. So I don't think you missed anything.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Well, Mama Dia is going to take the clip, Carmen, out, and she can send it to you too. It's something that you should definitely do a couple of times, but take the time to process, like he said. because this was definitely a lot. Like I'm still, the back of my head is still tingling. Like,
Yeah.
and
Like
I
the
think
little,
that's,
they're
that's
tap
good.
dancing on my brain.
That's
It's like,
information download, you know. So there's going to be a lot to process for sure.
Yeah.
You know, energy work is no joke. You know.
it's not.
No.
So if anybody wants a copy of that clip, just shoot me a message on Messenger so I know, because otherwise I'll be forgetting who it is.
Yeah.
Like, duh.
Yeah.
I'm
When I,
one to forget.
yeah.
I will shoot it to you if I can on in Messenger, and if not, just drop me your emails in and I'll email it over to you.
If I could just say to Carmen again, sometimes when I'm leading processes, not this time, it's like I go off too, and that every now and then, all of a sudden, a voice in my head will go, "You're leading this." Like, oh,
It's
Yeah.
like you're not just enjoying it. You're supposed to, yeah, I know that.
Well, I felt you in that bubble, and that, you know, you were,
Maggie, like this, Maggie says, new morning ritual.
you know. Definitely still learning lots of new stuff. Yeah, this
I
is
think
new
we're
stuff.
always constantly learning it. And the moment that you tell me that you're done learning everything, I'm sorry, but then what are you here for if you're not here to learn?
Oh
But
yeah,
everything, every time, every moment, there's always something to learn
right.
from the cranky people in your life.
And it all serves the whole. Like, you know, this
Mhm.
is another. It's a different form of energy work. You know,
Yeah.
than we've done other kinds of energy work. It's all valid. It's all
It is.
Right.
has its good points.
And
It's
everything is just a building block to who you are and what you're learning. You know, for me, I was raised a Catholic, so I did the altar girl thing and the whole thing, and my life sort of took a different turn. But for me, my Catholicism, what I was born with, was my building block, was my foundation, and everything else I learned is just building up into my different forms of healing. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's enjoyable.
Yeah. Yep. Carmen,
I love that
when you
building block.
open, yeah, when you open that third eye, though, the one thing you really got to be careful is that it's not too wide open, okay? Because then you will take on all too much. All right, just make sure you're able to close it. So you want to open it in little bits at a time because it's powerful tool. So you want to open that third eye, get what you need, and close it, and make sure you close it. And it's really important, and keep, like when he was saying, when we come into our bubble and you get your energy back, you really, really need to do that. You have to keep your energy. This is why I was doing this. Like I have, if you do this, if everybody does this, okay, out there, okay, I want you to rub your hands together like this. Rub. Okay. Now take your hands directly apart from each other. All right. Now, how far are you? Like your hands are going to be tingling. All right. There's going to be this force between your hands. How far away can you make it and still feel this force? Okay. This is your energy field. I'm way the hell out here. I can still feel it. Some people can only feel it in here, but this is like chi energy. This is a ball of energy. This is your energy. Okay. You can take this and infuse this energy into your body. You can push the negative, make this energy ball, grab it, okay, infuse it into you, push the negative energy out. Then you can't leave yourself open. You have to grab it again and infuse in our golden light, our white light, our blue light. Look it up as to what those lights mean. Give you homework. All right. So, some is for healing, some is for nurturing, some, it's what do you need today? What do you need this morning? What do you need tonight? Okay. It can be different. And there's no time limit on these things. You can do it all the time. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Maggie's making this a new morning ritual.
Oh, yay. Good. Yeah. Well, Maggie, I do it twice a day, every day, morning, night, and it keeps me in working with paranormal. It keeps those negative entities at bay. It keeps everybody else's energy at bay. It allows me to take people into these locations and be safe, and to teach you how to be safe, and that's the thing. We want you to be whole. We want you to be safe.
Yeah.
That's all our goals. Mama has her Reiki methods, and she sends her love out in that butterfly wings, and and you feel it when that comes from her energy. You'll feel it when Art sends his energy. Holy cow! We all just felt that.
Yeah.
right? So, I mean, it's pretty, energetic work is no joke. It is no joke. It's the real deal. This is it. You know?
And if somebody says they're not feeling it, it just means that this process is not good for you. You'll find what is right for you, what is correct for you. Or you just, sometimes it's just a matter of opening your mind and just, even for 2 minutes, if throughout that moment of time, and I don't even know how long that lasted, if all you're feeling is one thing, one tiny little, you know, that means that there's a possibility. Just let that door open. Just focus on that one tiny thing. Go back and see what happens. You can do a one tiny thing for a week, and then all of a sudden it'll be like, ooh, here goes 10 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, and sometimes you don't feel it. I know I've received healing sometimes that, I felt a little bit and then later went, whoa. Sometimes it was just out of my awareness, but it was working.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mary Jane, get that word up there. That's the golden word right there. Permission.
Yeah.
Because again, we all know how to set our intentions. We all know how to ask for things we want, but don't give ourselves that permission to accept it. This is what I learned from Art, right?
Yep.
We don't give ourselves that permission. We're not going to get it.
Exactly.
Yeah, when I was first learning to do healing work, sometimes I'd think, well, boy, I just don't have it today, that. And then when I learned about permission, it was like, well, they're telling me they want this and they mean it, but there isn't permission. And the lack of permission often isn't coming from you. It's other people's energy or past life or this and that. And that's why it's so important to be able to clear that kind of stuff. So then you can give permission.
Right. And actually receive it. Yeah.
Yes.
It's a process. It's definitely a process. I think we just got the tip of the iceberg tonight, and that was pretty powerful. So, yeah. I think everyone needs a lot of this kind of work, really, to get back to you, and I don't care how old you are, and I think the younger to start things like this, the better. That's why I love doing shows like this, is so that, people don't have to wait till they get into their 50s, 60s, 70s, or 80s before they start clearing their karmas and like, why has my life been such a train wreck? Why do I have to work harder than this? So
and can I just comment? Way earlier, somebody talked about they were told they had a past life where they were a bad person, and I saw the two of you react. It's sort of like, join the club.
Because she was
It's like in fact, I had a friend who specialized in telling me about past lives where I wasn't very nice, according to her.
I had a couple. But you said you like science, right? So you studied science. One of my past lives, I was a male scientist, basically, but working in, not a big time scientist. Like, I was just like the grunt worker type of a guy. And it's definitely, I don't know, the 1800s, whatever. Tall little round table, just like I got the picture, the tall round table, and standing there like the long, I was tall, really thin, geeky looking guy. But it's like I was just kind of more pulling numbers together. I wasn't doing anything specific. I wasn't like the mastermind of anything, but it was in the field.
Well, but that's important. I mean, that's how
it was important.
Where it gets done.
Yeah,
it's a building block.
To be done. Like the floor above was where all the magic happened, and we were just the grunt workers. But it's funny that I can still picture it.
That's
but
great.
I was brought back to see it. And the things that happened in that life is what I had to release on an emotional level on that life. Things that I had to release to feel better today. So it's all relative. It all matters, and our lives go way back, and then they go way out. All right. So there's a lot more than where you can go with this, because we are star seeds, So I mean, it's a whole nother conversation. That's a whole nother 2-hour show.
That's great. I love what you're both saying.
Thank you so much. Hey, look at we are at 10 o'clock. Where did this time go? I don't know where this time went. Honest to God, I could talk to you for like hours and hours and hours, and just
yes, we can, Maggie.
Well,
Ah,
this was fun. Yeah, the time went really. I looked at the clock too and went, "Oh, wow, okay."
let's see. Maybe that's someone that I knew. Shay's 14. We know that. Can anyone recommend who can do a find a person's past lives? Yes,
Yes, we do.
yes. We have people. I'll get to you on that one.
Mhm.
But for now, we have to say goodnight to all of you.
Yes.
Please, if you liked tonight's show, please share it, go to our YouTube channel. Please subscribe, because we do pop-up shows and whatnot too, and for our like reading shows and whatnot, and they'll only be on YouTube, so you won't know unless you subscribe. So go ahead and do that.
And comment, because YouTube,
But our
they like it if you comment. So
yes, comment on YouTube.
Yeah, even if it's a comment, because we always do answer our comments on our YouTube pages, even if it's a little bit later because we don't always see them, but we'll always answer a comment. And even if you have questions or comments like, I don't believe in this stuff, then you're entitled to your own opinion, and we're not going to fight you with it. We're just going to. It's like I remember one time somebody commented something about on one of my pages, and they said, angels are only males. I don't see why you're talking about females. And I was like, somebody said, you should take that comment down. I said, no, because they're entitled to their opinion, just like I'm entitled to my beliefs. And I did have to disagree with the person. So it's like, meh. But, so just comment, say something, even if it's just, hey, how's it going? I think these people are crazy, but Art's an awesome dude. Go.
Oh, that's so great. I'm so glad you said that.
Oh my God. Well, thank you so much for being with us. We want to have you back again. When that book does come out, I want to be back on the show.
And I would love to be back.
We will. Awesome. You got a home in the Fox Den. You're a Fox Den family member now.
Right.
Do
I get a tattoo or? Yeah.
Well, yeah. I have a tattoo on my ankle. You could have one.
Get a fox and you have to have a fox and a butterfly. Otherwise, one of us will be jealous.
See over there on the side there. Right down here, fox and butterfly.
And thanks to everybody watching. So appreciate your comments.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to play our exit video now. We'll see you next week. And again, thank you guys so much, and love you. And hang with us for a minute, Art.
Yep.
And ciao for now, everybody.
Bye.
We thank you so much for joining us for another episode of the Fox Den with Gina B and Mama D. We are here every Thursday evening from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you a variety of guests. Streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, as well as our Anchor audio venues. We hope you enjoyed our show and our guest, and we would love it if you would go to our YouTube channel, The Fox Den with Gina B and Mama D, subscribe, and definitely hit that notification button to never miss a show. We'll see you all next week, and subscribers, watch for our pop-up shows as well.